Would you like to come up for a second and speak? And tell us who you represent as well.
Yeah. Brooke, I'm with East Boulder County United.
Hold the mic up close.
Okay, first I have to unfold my nose.
All the way up to your mouth.
Okay, I'm with East Boulder County United. My family and I live in Granby now.
Nobody can hear you again, so you gotta even close it.
Put it right up on your
Nobody's
chin.
ever said they couldn't hear me. Okay, we recently moved to the mountains away from the Front Range because my daughter was having daily nosebleeds, which are a common side effect of fracking in kids nearby their house and their schools. She's been living in the mountains for about 4 months now, and she has no nosebleeds. So I'm so glad that we're all here together today for this purpose, but these people working in this building, they are not the ones who are going to change anything.
No, they're not.
They are part of the well-oiled capitalist machine. You can tell just by looking at it. We at EBCU are fighting environmental injustice. Countries and continents have been colonized in the name of resource extraction worldwide since the beginning of capitalism. People have been enslaved or underpaid for their labor. The world has been pillaged in most places. My mouth is frozen, sorry. The people who live in the resource colonies have had their air, water, soil, and food poisoned. Many places have been stripped bare above and below the ground. The working poor are seen by the capitalist system as nothing more than laborers and consumers. And since we aren't paid a living wage, the banks are happy to extend credit with interest so that we can continue to consume. We're on the hamster wheel. We're tired. We don't live near our people anymore. There aren't any grandparents around. There's no village to help us with our babies or hand down traditions. So, we have our kids in daycare, and we have our parents in a nursing home somewhere across the country. We're so tired just trying to keep a roof over our head and food on the table, and sometimes we do, and sometimes we don't. We're so busy struggling and laboring and scraping to exist as humans that we don't have time to see that our air, water, soil, and food are all being poisoned. And our bodies are being poisoned for profit, it turns out too, because then we fill hospitals and we fill prescriptions, the sicker we become. So you say, okay, I'll pick a guy or I'll pick a lady. I'll vote for them, they'll save us. Now this line of thinking is where I have to sadly disillusion you guys again. Because no politician in this building here today, or in any building, is going to save us. Woo. Nobody in this building got there without significant financial and party backing. Right. There is not one person in this building that the two-party duopoly did not want here. Well. Nobody makes it here without that backing and money. And so when they make it here, they are owned and beholden to whoever put them there. And I'm sorry, but you will have to give up on voting as the answer. Along this same line, I want to take a minute to ask you guys to keep your eyes wide open. There's a lot of legit grassroots people here today. This group right here is legit grassroots, okay? But you need to watch out for the big green movements, okay? Real grassroots is your next door neighbor. It's people that you know in your community. It's people who are doing this work in the middle of the night after they got home from their day job, okay? It's people who are actually in the struggle with you. Grassroots is not organizations who are part of the nonprofit industrial complex. It's not organizations with huge donors, coffers of money, and it's not organizations who have people on their staff who are highly compensated. Nothing will burn you out faster than working with groups like this, because if they have donors like that, it means that they are like these guys here. They're beholden. So, get your neighbors, go make some signs, and take to the streets. You don't need a permit. Okay, go feed people. Get your people together and do it yourself. Now it's the time for the good news. And that is that the working class and the working poor far outnumber the elites.
Yeah.
Trust me, the elites know this, and that's why they'll do anything to convince you that they're on your side. Hundreds of years of history has shown otherwise. I'm here today to encourage you guys to stop believing in the system, stop believing in the politicians and start believing in ourselves.
Exactly.
Like any huge change in history, it will take rising up. It will take discomfort, and it will take courage. We can encourage ourselves through this time of change for the better by remembering the constant injustice to the oppressed and to the earth that we have endured forever. You guys, have a look at the politicians in this building. Now have a look at each other. We are the people who will make the difference. We are the people who can make change, not them. And I hope we will. Thank you. Woo!